Hey, hi, and hello everyone. Hope you all had a magnificent Thanksgiving. Happy to say we are back and better than ever with the content you love and that I hope you enjoy. So, let's just say a little birdie told me that you want to find out what your Sonic Racing Crossworlds main says about you. Well, happy to say that you came to the right place. A little disclaimer, this is all just for fun. None of this is anything personal. I just thought this would be a really fun thing to do to keep you entertained and to make content overall. And one more thing before we get started, we hit 1,300 subscribers on the YouTube channel. You guys have been killing it recently. I appreciate all the support, and I know I haven't been really consistent on the channel recently, but I promise you an upload schedule is coming, so look forward to that in the near future. Alright, without further ado, let's get straight into what your Sonic Racing Crossworlds main says about you. Let's of course start off with Sonic the Hedgehog. If you main Sonic the Hedgehog, he is probably your favorite video game character of all time, but at the same time, you are one of the stricter fans in the Sonic series. You are not afraid to say if Sonic's game is good or bad, and you are either 8 to 15 years old, 18 to 25 years old, and you're not with it when people mess with your friends. If you main Tails, you are probably a very handy person in real life. You probably have a lot of Lego sets at home, you like to work smarter, not harder, and you look for the solution over worrying about the problem. And you're not afraid to be player 2 all the time. You're not necessarily needed all the time, but you come through when you're needed the most. If you main Knuckles, you are probably not the biggest fan of the Sonic series. Crossworlds probably got recommended to you by a friend and you gave it a shot and liked it a lot and thought Knuckles was the coolest character. Either that, or you are a major fan of the Sonic series but hope Knuckles gets a little bit more of the spotlight just like he did in Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, and so on. You're also not afraid to be merciless on the track to get first place in whatever it takes, even if it means losing your best friend over it. If you main Amy, you are a girly girl. You love everything about Amy. Your favorite color is most likely pink, and you can have a little bit of a short temper sometimes. You also like to hear Amy's 1, 2, and 3 quip from the trick animations, but honestly, who doesn't like to hear that? If you main Cream, you are a terrifying player on the track, but in real life, you're not so bad. You are typically the best out of your friend group, and you're not afraid to rub it in their faces. You're also a very crafty person, a very creative person who indulges in art every once in a while. And if you don't, you wish you could. If you main Big, you are just happy to be alive. You probably have no idea what's going on, but your friends asked you to hop on Crossworlds and you said why not. Whether you win or lose, you still enjoy your time regardless and spending the time with your friends. Simply enjoying life as you know it. If you main Silver, you are a very optimistic person. You tend to look for the good in situations that look completely against you, and you believe you can come from 12th to 1st in the 3rd lap with a drill and a prayer on the final turn. You also tend to be a good sport whether you win or lose regardless, and you also wish they'd make a Sonic 06 remake or a game revolving around Silver. If you main Blaze, you are a huge fan of the Sonic Rush series, and you are a very elegant person in real life, doing everything with class and style, and the one keeping your friends in check when you go to the mall. You are not terrible at Crossworlds, but you tend to get a wild card factor when coming first sometimes and last sometimes, and you accept it because you know that's just how the game goes. If you main Shadow, he is definitely your favorite hedgehog out of the 3 by a long shot. You watch the Sonic 3 movie a handful of times, and you don't overreact when it comes to stressful situations. You also tend to get the wildcard feature as well sometimes, but most of the time it's not working in your favor. You tend to average between 5th place and 12th place, and you blame luck, not skill, but will happily call it skill when you get 1st place. If you main Rouge, you are a pretty subtle person, coming from 12th to 1st on the final lap and nobody knowing how. And if you're a girl maining Rouge, you have a very good sense of style. And if you're a guy maining Rouge, you either genuinely like the character, or it's because of the... Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. If you main Omega, you are a pretty big fan of the Sonic Adventure series. Omega is probably your favorite character to play as in the game, and you're more of a fan of the calm, collected, and peaceful gameplay over the crazy, reckless, fast pace. And your favorite color is also purple. If you main Vector, you don't really care what anyone else thinks about you. You will simply disregard anyone's opinion when it comes to giving you advice in your life, and especially when it comes to music. You also have a set of goals for yourself and won't let anyone get in your way until you achieve them. If you main SBO, you are a very nonchalant person and don't try to be at all. You are the calmest of calm in every situation, and probably the most mature out of your friend group. Although you are chill, the things you say can be cringy, and everyone laughs but you because you don't know what you just said that everyone's laughing about. It also takes a lot to make you laugh because you have a little bit of dry humor. If you main Charmy, you're 2 years old. Get out of here, monster truck user, technical drift, little robot, go back to your high chair. Can we just go to the next one? If you main Zavok, you are a pretty big fan of Sonic Crossworld and is not afraid to say it. You're probably the leader of your friend group, but also always lead them in the wrong direction. They don't care though, because you carry yourself like you're the ruler of the world. Either that, or you found out that the voice actor of Jiren from Dragon Ball also does Davok, so you just like both overall characters. If you main Zaz, you are the crazy one in your friend group, doing things that no one else would even think of doing. You're also the one to cause the most chaos on the track, throwing every single item you can find to first place without hesitation, and you will rage for coming last, calling everyone a cheater before someone calls it a skill issue, and then you immediately blast your friend for even thinking such. If you main Eggman, you mainly prefer the villains over the heroes. You will patiently wait for that time to come when the villains overcome the heroes and happily tell your friends I told you so, only for the villains to lose for another decade straight, and you're most likely a person to make promises you can't keep. If you main Metal Sonic, you don't just main Metal Sonic, you are a die-hard Metal Sonic fan. You've only used Metal Sonic in every Sonic game that you can play for the past 10 years, and you are not ashamed to admit that. Stardust Speedway is probably your favorite OST, and you probably have a Hue soundboard sitting in your Discord somewhere. You're also not afraid to tell things like it is, saying things how you want and the way it's supposed to be said, with feelings, not a word in your vocabulary. If you main Eggpon, you believe the side characters should get way more justice and screen time than they do. You're probably a very nice person in real life, but will happily have a heated debate about how Eggpon is not the Goomba of Sonic, and will die with that philosophy. If you main Sage, you are a pretty big fan of Sonic Frontiers, and it's probably your favorite Sonic game right now. You tend to be loyal but only to one person, and you have a bunch of useless facts that no one else should care about. But you do because you know they're gonna come in handy one day. If you main Jet, you are a pretty arrogant person, but you have the right to be because everything you do and touch, you're good at. You are a natural born competitor and will not fight for your life to get a participation trophy. You also value your reputation a lot, and will do anything to keep that reputation. If you main Wave, you guys are just like Tails mains but a little bit more independent. You guys don't depend on anyone to get anything done but yourselves, because you know there's a certain way you like to do things and won't let anyone else get in the way of that. You're also the person everyone goes to in their household to get advice or help for tech. For instance, helping your mom connect to your Wi-Fi or helping your grandma with the TV remote. If you main Storm, you are a very loyal person. Anyone who has built a reputation up enough to have you trust them, you will trust them with your life, even if sometimes they steer you in the wrong direction. You're a very easy person to talk to, but at the same time have no idea what they're talking about. You also tend to be clueless in situations that should be very important. If you main the Werehog, Sonic Unleashed is your favorite Sonic game of all time, and you're one of those people who actually enjoy the nighttime stages. Maybe that 0.01% of people who actually enjoy them more than boost stages or day stages. You are a pretty nice person, but when people get on your nerves, you tend to get really angry and kind of uncontrollable. So your friends try to avoid saying sensitive things about you. If you main 9, you wanted to main Tails, but you found out he wasn't cool enough, so 9 was your second option. You're a person who keeps to themselves a lot and doesn't really talk about any of your business or indulge in anyone else's. But you tend to have and pick friends that are the complete opposite. If you main Dread, you like Knuckles as well, but you think Dread has a lot more character. You have a desire for the finer things in life, and stays persistent when your mind is set on something, even if it means getting it in the wrong way. Your friends admire you for the way you carry yourself, even if it means being a little bit reckless in the way you do things. If you main Rusty Rose, you secretly like Amy but are too afraid to tell your friends, so you go with the more cooler Amy, who has one eye. You are mainly a shy person but can be bold in certain situations or when you're pushed to your limit. It also takes you a while to lighten up to people and make some friends. If you main Joker, you probably grew up on the Persona games, or main him in Smash Ultimate and saw that he was in this game and immediately picked it up, but was very surprised to see that he had no voice lines and that you bought it on console and cannot mod the game. You are a very charismatic person who expresses a lot of emotion, mainly to the ones that you're close to, because if you tell your friends, you know that they'll make fun of you for it. If you main Ichiban, you are a big fan of the Yakuza games, or you just picked up the game and saw that he had a really cool car and a really cool suit and said why not. You also aren't that good at Crossworlds, but will happily put in the time to grind and pass your friends. A persistent gamer indeed. If you main Hatsune Miku, okay, we're just gonna categorize this one. If you main Steve, Alex, or Creeper, Minecraft has been, will, and will always be your favorite game of all time. And you will die on that hill knowing that Minecraft is the best-selling game, because whenever your friends debate you about it, all you need to do is show them the sales. You are a very creative person, saying that Minecraft taught you everything you know instead of saying your parents did. If you main SpongeBob SquarePants, just like Minecraft, it has been your favorite show since you were a kid, and you still watch it every now and then. You are a pretty happy person overall, and it takes a lot to upset you. And as long as you have the people that you admire the most, you are a happy guy. And last but not least, if you main Patrick Star, just like SpongeBob, you are pretty happy, but you are a little more on the sensitive side, meaning it could take one word to get you upset. You make friends extremely easily, but you don't even try because you're simply just living life. Alright, that's all I have to say with what your Sonic Racing Crossworlds main says about you. Share this with a friend and see if I'm right about them, and comment down below if I'm right about you when it comes to your main in Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace!